When it comes to selecting a bass or defining what the bass is in the song, you have to think about the type of music that you're making. When we're doing like modern trap music, we live in an 808 world. Um, but sometimes it's nice to complement that and do maybe for one section of the song where you'd put a sub bass to replace the 808. And you can go a little crazier with the notes, have a little more control over them. And sometimes when I'm doing more of my live type music where I'm using, a lot of sounds from Contact, I'll tend to go to trillion because it sounds like a real bass. There's certain parameters that I have to live within, but if you get to know the sound, you can pull out some pretty cool, pretty real sounding basses. I'm really into analog basses, a lot of the funk stuff, with P-funk stuff. And I tend to go to like Moog basses, all different synth basses. And, it has a particular unique sound to it. In addition to choosing the right bass sound, I also like to, decide if it's going to be more of a rhythmic bass line or just hold the notes or both. Like if I take this chord structure right here, which is a very basic chord structure. That sounds cool, but you'll notice he can also go. And, you can really make something of that same chord structure. So, depending upon the energy that you're trying to put off, because this sounds good too, doing the long notes. But, it's just a matter of finding if where you want the energy. You want it more percussive? Do you want things more padded out? Sometimes I like to follow the kick drum with the bass line, and I think it adds a cool sound. Like you can kind of visualize what the kick drum would be under. So it's pretty much everything is playing in that same rhythm. You're switching up the notes. The kick is still doing its one, whatever, tone that's pulling out. And then, you're following that rhythm and switching the notes up with the bass. These are some things you got to think about when you're creating the bass line.